Hi guys, so today we're going to have a little tutorial on how to integrate Xbox controls in with your 2D games that you're making. So first, obviously, what you need to do is open up your projects. I want to thank Xena for sending me her project so I can do this work on this. So we'll open it up, and what we're going to do quickly is test it to make sure it's working with keyboard and mouse. So by default, let's have a look. So she's got her arrow keys, I think, set for this one, and she's got space for fire. Okay, so we've got a shooting mechanic, and we've got arrow keys. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is what we're going to look for is the movement script. So if we look through her scripts, we've got boat move M, which I'm guessing is her movement script. So we'll load this up. Okay, and look through it. So first of all, what we need to be looking for is what she's done with the arrow keys. So that's this bit here. And we're just going to get rid of that. That's not going to be necessary. We don't need that anymore. So here. And yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a float. So float and speed. And what we're going to do is that's going to equal input dot get axis, and we're going to do it on our horizontal axis or our x-axis. So horizontal. Okay, and we're going to finish it off with a semicolon, obviously. So now what we need to do is we need to look for the vector 3, which is the movement. So here we've got boat's position, so copy that down there, and I'm going to do plus and equals to a new vector 3, and what we're going to do now is we're going to times the speed times 3, and obviously we're going to do no movement on the y-axis. So every time we move the horizontal joystick on the controller, that's going to give us a value between minus 1.0f and 1.0f, and in turn we're going to then take that information and we're going to times that by 3 here, and we're only going to do that on that one axis. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do times that by time dot delta time. Okay, that's horizontal movement done. So we're going to do the same again. We don't need to define speed as a float this time, so just do speed equals inputs dot get axis. And this time we're going to do that on the vertical axis. Okay, and very similar to before, so boat's position plus or equal to new vector 3. And then that's going to be 0 this time because we're not going to do anything in the x-axis. And then speed times 3 in the y-axis. And what we're going to do then is we're going to times that by time dot delta time. Okay, so now if we save that and go to run the game, so I'm just going to use the controller to test that's worked. So there we go. So we're using the controller, we're going forward, backwards, up and down, and that seems to work. But currently we can't shoot. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back into the scripts folder and we're going to look for her shooting mechanics. So firing, here we go. So currently she's using space to do firing. That's not a problem. What we're going to do though is we're just going to simply replace this small bit of code here. So instead of having input.get key down, we're going to have input.get button down. And that button is going to be the Fire 1 button, which by default on the controller is mapped to the A button. Okay, so what she's got here is we're going to do input.get button down, Fire 1, okay, and that's wrong there, and it's also running the fire timer, which is what she's got here, which is to stop you just firing bullets on a super rapid basis, so it's adding a delay. Okay, so let's go test that now. So originally she was using the spacebar, and we're going to make it so she continues to use the spacebar. But let's try that. So we've got the controller here, and I'm going to press the A button, and yay, we've got a firing controller. But if I press space on the keyboard, I can reset it back, but yeah, we've got that there as well. So what we can do though, is if we wanted to remap that, so instead of using space, it was using, let's say, the M button. If we go to Edit, Project Settings, Input, we've got here the input. So you'll notice that we've got Fire 1 twice. So we've got Fire 1 here, which is currently set to space, and we've got Fire 1 here, which is set to joystick button 0, which is the A button. So instead of space, I want it to be M. M. In fact, actually, can we set it to left control? We can, but let's type it. M. So we save that, and now go back to game. What we can do here is we can test it works. We can fire using the A button, and we can use M or the arrow keys to control the rat. Okay, so that's all it takes. It's 3 lines of code, 4 lines of code, and you've added Xbox controls to your game. So I hope to see that you all do this for your final projects. Looking forward to seeing what you guys have got. Cheers, bye.